so today we're going to talk about compatible numbers, dividing with compatible numbers, okay? So when you think compatible, think they work well together, okay? Like when my husband and I met, we found that we were compatible. We liked each other. We worked well together. And that's why we got married. So compatible are numbers that work easily together, that are nice and they get along, okay? So you don't have a really hard time doing the math with this. Okay, now we're going to use compatible numbers for division because division's a whole different ballgame. You want things to work out well. We're not going to use the exact same rounding method for division, okay? So let's take a problem for instance, okay? 439 divided by 6, okay? Normally, whenever you want to round, you would take, well, 439, that's close to 400, and that's a nice easy number because we said zeros are easy, right? But whenever you're trying to make equal groups of 6, you think, well, 6 can't go into 4, 6 can't go into 40 nicely. It can go into it 6 times, and then you're left with all this mumbo jumbo. So remember, estimating, we're supposed to have an easy time. It's supposed to make our life easier. We're getting an idea. We're just getting a jump start to what we're trying to figure out for the answer. So regular rounding is out the window. We are not doing that for division, okay? All right, so compatible. Remember, it has to work well together. So we're going to think of what are numbers that work well with 6. Okay, so my 6's, right? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36, 42, 48, 54, and 60, right? Those are my first few multiples of 6. Those work well because they're the 6 fact families. Okay, so we're going to take these into consideration whenever we look at what we're going to round to. Okay, so look at the first 2 digits. Okay, the first digit's not going to be good enough to help us out. So the first 2 digits, 43. Do we have a multiple close to 43? Now, we're just going to get the closest multiple. It's okay if we're a little bit over or we're a little bit under for compatible numbers. Remember, it's just an idea. Okay, so when we look, 42, right? And the only thing that I would need to do to make it look close to 439 is add a 0, right? If I added zeros, well, I just multiplied everything by 10, right? 10 more times. So if I do 420, would that work out well? Yeah, right? So you take the first 2 digits, you look over here, well, if 6 times something is 42, then I can do that a lot easier. 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 times 7. So if 6 times 7 is 42, then 6 times 70 will become 420. So if we have a 0 left in our quotient, we just bring it straight up, okay? And I can double check it. 70 times 6, 1 0, 6 times 7 is 42. Now, that's just an idea to help us to know that's what my quotient is going to be close to, okay? So again, that's compatible numbers. We're going to do one with a 2-digit number now. Okay, so let's do 32. We're going to divide by 32. Okay. We're going to do there we go. We're going to divide 1,727 divided by 32. Okay. This compatible number still works well. Now we've already done the estimating using those powers of 10. Okay, so we understand how to do that. So now I want to round my divisor to a nice, easy number. If it was a single digit number, that's way easier because I know my single digit factors, or my single digit facts, pardon me. Okay, so I want to round 32 to a nice, easy number for me to work with, okay? So let's use our regular rounding here. So 32 rounds to 30, okay? I don't know my 30s multiples, but I know my 3's, so I'm just going to attach a 0 on. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, counting out to 30. Right, so here's my 3's. If I just add a 0, those become my 30s, okay? Now, when we're doing compatible numbers and we're rounding both the divisor and the quotient, we have to use our rounding rule for just the divisor, okay? So 30 is what we're going to divide by. Now, we want to use a multiple of 30 that's close to 1,727. Again, we're just going to look at the first two digits. Now, can I get to 30? No. All right, so then we have to go one more digit over. So the first three digits. So you see what I'm saying? If we could get the first two digits, then we're going to use that first two digits. If we can't, we're going to move over 3. All right, so 172. So think of multiples of 30, okay, because that's what we're estimating. It's close to 172. Now I've got 150, 180. Remember, it's just an estimate, so we're going to pick one that's close. 180 is a little bit closer than 150, so I'm going to do 180. But does that look like 1,727? No. But if I add a 0, I'm there. Now, normally in the estimating world, we wouldn't round this 1,727 to 1,800 because it doesn't follow the rounding rule. But remember, those rules do not apply when we're dividing, okay? So now, again, it's something easier, okay? So we talked the other day about dividing and using that O for an O rule. Remember how we have, how many times can 30 go into this number, or we can cancel that out? So first we're going to do the real thing, okay? Can 30 go into 1? No. Can it go into 18? No. Can it go into 180? Yes, because we just listed it, right? How many times? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Okay, so my quotient's going to start in the tens place because that's the first place value that we had 1. All right, so that's 180 should equal out. If we have a 0 left, if we have a place left over and there's no remainder, remember we bring our 0 up. Okay, I'm going to check with multiplication. Right, with multiplication we said, oh, tack our zeros on. 6 times 3, 18, right? So now, again, this is an estimate. It's compatible numbers. It should work well. The better you are at your facts, the better you're going to be at estimating with compatible numbers because they are facts. So we think the quotient is going to be somewhere around 60 to get us an idea so that whenever we start doing the real deal long division, we can have an idea in our head to say, okay, this is what I think the answer is going to be close to. Does my answer make sense? So that's what we always want to do. That's the whole purpose of estimation, is to get an idea and to make sure it makes sense. I hope this helped you understand how to use compatible numbers.